Rhea Ripley is out of Money in the Bank, with Carmella replacing her for the Raw Women's Championship match. Asuka shockingly defeats Becky Lynch for the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Toni Storm picks up the win from DMD to clash with Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship, and Jordynne Grace wins the historic Queen of the Mountain match to become the new Knockouts champion. Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell. This is DS and this is Women's Wrestling Weekly. Let's start with WWE Raw, where women are here to save WWE. Starting and ending the show, we begin with Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champion, opening the show announcing that Rhea Ripley, the #1 contender, is medically not cleared to wrestle in Money in the Bank, so she needs a replacement. And I learned that Rhea knocked her teeth out during the Fatal 4-Way match where she won and she got braces on them, so maybe that's what's affecting this match. Anyway, we're back again with this multi-women #1 contendership match, and we see Becky Lynch, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Alexa Bliss all come out to cut a promo before this match. And I love the moment when Carmella brought up the fact that Liv is the only one who's not a former champion and asking people to raise their hand if they want her removed from this match, and Becky raised her hand. It was so cute. But the winner of this promo battle was Alexa Bliss, as she destroyed, and I mean destroyed, Carmella, because Goddess Alexa Bliss is back and she dragged Carmella to the mud, bringing up the fact that she's never been over by herself. That's a really interesting point. The match that followed was also really fun. Alexa and Liv has such great chemistry, and they're probably just having so much fun bringing the merry-go-round spot again, but this time they did it twice. We got "This is awesome" chant later when Alexa hits Twisted Bliss on Becky, covering Asuka after the manhandle slam, and at the end, Liv Morgan reverses a Twisted Bliss spot. Carmella hits a super kick to win the match, replacing Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. I mean, we saw Carmella versus Bianca like 100th time last year at SmackDown, so maybe we will do a rerun of last year's SummerSlam and have Bayley return to do the same on Carmella, because I just don't see Carmella versus Bianca really being their plan, right? Anyway, from the promo war to the match, it was super fun, satisfying. Backstage, we see Becky Lynch screaming at Adam Pearce about losing a match again, and Carmella sneak attacks Bianca Belair during the backstage interview. It looked hella weak, but Bianca did her best to sell it. For the main event of Raw, we see Asuka versus Becky Lynch for the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Props to Becky and Asuka for wrestling twice a night, but hey, times are really tough. And this match, yes, we've seen so many times at this point, but damn, they're so good. Every time they make it so entertaining. Here, Becky Lynch is more frustrated than before, so she attacks Asuka even before the match starts. And at the end, Asuka kicks Becky on the side, heck out of Becky Lynch, to defeat her clean, qualifying for the Money in the Bank match. And we see Becky totally loses it, destroying the announcer table, and sits down to just cry. So I think we're nearing the end of the era of Big Times Bex, and maybe moving towards Broken Becky? Becky never lets her character stay stagnant, and from the man to Big Time Bex, she makes every single character work. So I'm really excited to see where she's taking her character next, and I also love that Asuka was built really strong, because she deserves everything. Asuka deserves everything, so I'm very satisfied. And by the way, if you like this 4 Horsewomen Pokemon sweatshirt, you can find it right below here in our merch shop. It's really cute. Let's talk NXT. We had 2 matches, starting with Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henry. Wendy Chu is seen bouncing through Stratton's entrance with the big ball. Kind of reminds me of that South Park episode where people all had enlarged testicles and they were bouncing through it. Anyway, Tiffany is Tiffany. She's really good here, as always, impressing me with all her usual flashy moves. She did this different version of her 8-figure 8 looking submission, which does look really impressive. Doesn't look like it'll hurt, but I still loved it. Fallon's the one that really impressed me here though, because she was really connecting with the crowd. Crowd exploded for her comeback spot. I don't really get the appeal yet. I know that she kind of reminds me of that Mickie James, Audrey Marie Nidia vibe, and she's obviously connecting very well with the audience, so I'm sure there's something there. I want to learn more about it. At the end, Wendy Chu comes in to throw confetti at Tiffany's face, allowing Henry to grab a small package for the win. This match was fun, satisfying. For the main event of NXT, we saw a 6-women tag match, Cora Jade, Indy Hartwell, and Roxanne Perez versus Toxic Attraction. Before this match, we saw this backstage segment where Cora and Roxanne were best friending as usual, and Indy Hartwell gave them the advice as a veteran who's been through all the hardship in the world. And Roxanne and Cora are like, shut the a millennial. But also you're just 25. But actually this segment was really, really cute. And then we also saw Toxic Attraction cutting more of a classic Mean Girls promo. This match was good, but something pretty much expected. Toxic Attraction acing in heel tactics, and Cora and Roxanne obviously playing amazing baby faces. At the end, Cora Jade hits a cannonball senton on Gigi and tags Roxanne, probably so that she can hit her finisher Pop Rocks to take the win, but Gigi was apparently injured from the senton, so Roxanne couldn't pick her up, and she just pins Gigi to take the win. Hopefully Gigi's injury is not that bad, and this match was good.
Good? Not bad?
AEW Dynamite time, we had a rematch between Britt Baker versus Toni Storm. Last time we saw Britt Baker basically cheat defeat Toni in an Owen Hart tournament, and again, Britt Baker comes in with Jamie Hayter, Rebel, and all the heel trickeries in this match, but it worked so much better this time, as in it didn't really work against Toni Storm, but it worked storyline device sense, helping to make Toni's win feel really big. So we first saw Jamie Hayter cheap shots Toni while Rebel was distracting the referee, then Thunder Rosa comes out to chase Hayter, and then we saw a huge back-to-back tornado DDT from Toni Storm, which I love, and then we saw Britt Baker have an injury, or fake one, but everyone thought it was after Toni's huge running hip attack. She was keep pushing Toni how Carmella did to Mandy in that Money in the Bank match. We still don't know what the happened. Everyone, including me, thought something was up, but it was all just heel trickery as Britt Baker rolls up Toni and wins the match. Wait, actually, she did not. Because she did not! I literally thought she was gonna win there. But Toni breaks out, hits a German suplex, and Storm Zero to defeat the Britt Baker DMD. Baker losing here felt like a really big deal, and I'm so happy to see her take a step back. She does not need to go after Thunder Rosa already, and she honestly did not even have to win that Owen Hart tournament, to be honest. So I'm so glad that Toni took the win here. Post-match, Thunder Rosa comes back for the stare down with Toni Storm, and following this match, we learned that Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa is confirmed for Forbidden Door pay-per-view this weekend. So satisfied. Impact Wrestling time, this was a go-home show for the Slammiversary, and we had a tag match, Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans versus Jordynne Grace and Mia Yim, where Tasha picked up the win when Jordynne Grace accidentally hits Mia Yim with a huge clothesline, causing ripple to the Babyface Alliance in the Queen of the Mountains match. This combined with Chelsea and Deonna teaming up and Mickie James coming in as a special enforcer of the match, it's all great build for a Knockouts Championship match, so I'm really, really satisfied. We then saw Masha Slamovich versus Alicia with Giselle Shaw, where Masha destroys Alicia with a snowplow. She then has a stare down with Giselle Shaw, teasing a future match. I wonder if we'll just see Masha snowplows the entire knockout division to the top, or we'll be getting some meaningful feuds, maybe with Giselle, or the feud that I really want against Havoc if she returns, because backstage we see Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie talking about teaming up for Slammiversary against the Influence. They vow to defeat the Influence to get the title, and then go save Havoc. Tag Team Championship is all great, but this saving Havoc storyline seems really, really juicy because I love whenever Impact goes wacky. AEW Rampage time. So previously on Dynamite, Stokely Hathaway announced that Jade Cargill is issuing an open challenge for Rampage, and Willow Nightingale comes in to accept it. This is another match that is clear that Jade will be winning. Regardless, this match was really, really fun because damn, Willow is amazing. She is just so lovable, so fun to watch in the ring. She just oozes this energy that I fall instantly in love whenever I see her. Her going against the bona fide AEW star Jade Cargill was great. Short and sweet and surprisingly even match, and at the end, Jade Cargill hits Pedigree followed by Jaded to retain the title. Post-match, Kiera Hogan attacks Willow, but Athena comes in to hit the O-Face, formerly known as Eclipse, on Kiera. This one was not very good either. Jade Cargill then plants Athena with the Pummelhand kick, and Chris Statlander comes in for the save. And I love how Statlander casually whacked Stokely in the back of his head. Satisfied. Alright, WWE SmackDown time. Did anyone really have mental capacity to focus on SmackDown after the whole Vince McMahon stepping down and Stephanie McMahon becoming the interim CEO situation? I'm gonna save my words on this mess because I'm honestly just very disturbed by all the things that came out last couple of weeks. SmackDown had not much to offer this week. Natalya continued her sharpshooter versus armbar storyline in backstage interview because Ronda Rousey was not present. It is really sad to see how underwhelming this is, the SmackDown Women's Championship belt. And then we got Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Gonzalez in the Money in the Bank qualifier match, and it's heartbreaking to think that this could have been an NXT main event match or a killer takeover match. And here we had a 3-minute match where they squeezed Lacey Evans in for commentary too. Honestly, Shayna and Raquel did everything they can do in this limited time. Raquel showed her powers and Shayna really chopped down on Raquel on her leg, but ultimately everything had to be rushed. At the end, Raquel out of nowhere over hits Shayna with Tehena Bomb, not Shingona Bomb, the name was changed, picking up the win. Just knowing the potential of this match I'm pretty upset about how this was wasted. This is a girl, no.
Girl,
Impact Wrestling Slammiversary time. So we had a special 20th anniversary Slammiversary with 2 women's matches. We also got cameo from Christy Hemme, Tracy Brooks, and Dixie Carter. So we got Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood versus Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie for the Knockout Tag Title. One thing this match missed was having a good build because Taya and Rosemary were brought back as a team last minute, but they were able to use that into this match and told a great story of Rosemary and Taya finding their chemistry throughout the match, which was really well told. They started out the match not quite in sync, but by the end they worked together fantastically. The sequence at the end, from the stereo 10 punches to the influence hitting the finisher collab on Rosemary and Taya hitting Madison with the knee, connecting that with Rosemary's finisher, was all done great. Solid match, I'm very satisfied. We gotta talk about this next match. Next match, we got Knockout's title, Queen of the Mountains match. Tasha Steelz, Deonna Purrazzo, Jordynne Grace, Mia Yim, Chelsea Green, and Mickie James as a special enforcer. You all have to watch this match. This had the feel of a history-making match. I mean, it was history-making because it was the first ever Queen of the Mountains match, and it was great that all the women made sure to put on a classic worth being in the history book. I was honestly worried about this match a little bit because match rule is probably the most complicated of all wrestling matches I've ever seen. So to tell you the rules again, every participant start out as ineligible to win the match. To be eligible, you need to pin or submit someone, and if you're the one that's pinned or submit, you have to get stuck in a timeout cage for 2 minutes. And eligible people can grab the championship belt from the referee, climb up the ladder to hang up to win the match to become the next champion. So it's like a complicated reverse ladder match in a sense. Yes, this rule is freaking complicated and I had no idea how it's going to play out, but all the women really utilized the rules of the match to their advantage and was able to create this magical match that I really enjoyed. So to break down, let me go one by one. So Tasha Steelz, the champion, was great. She brought in Savannah Evans and she rekindled her rivalry with Mickie James here, which brought a lot of great moments. I love that she screamed time to rock and roll before hitting the Stratisfaction. I love how she became eligible because she just basically joined in for Jordynne Grace pinning Mia, and the top rope cutter to Mia on the ladder was a really cool spot. You can obviously see that she's grown so much, all the way from her presentation to in-ring prowess, so props to Tasha Steelz for an amazing run. Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green worked together throughout the match. They started out the match really strong with the back-to-back huge dives outside. Her tapping out Tasha with the armbar using the ladder was really awesome. Chelsea also had this amazing moment with Mickie James, bringing back that best friend storyline again when she kicked the heck out of Mickie James using that cage door. It was awesome. But the biggest gag of the match has to be when both Deonna and Chelsea crashed from the top of the ladder to the table outside. That was wild. I literally screamed so hard. Mia Yim was badass. She was my pick to win the match, and I feel like her winning the title here would have made the bigger splash. She's like the hot returning name. But if Impact wants to actually build her back until she gets the title again, because like they say, money is in the chase, I would not be against that. And even though she didn't win, I wouldn't say her momentum was hurt because she had so many badass moments in this match. That jump from the top of the cage for the missile dropkick on Chelsea, walking up the slanted ladder to hit the senton outside was all really cool. Just super badass. Now to the winner, Jordynne Grace, she picks up the win, drilling Tasha Steelz with the muscle buster, putting Tasha in a timeout, and then she climbed up to hang the title. 18-minute match. She also did this amazing spot, that drop kick to outside, and she kind of like slings back again. Throughout this match, she had this great underdog storytelling because she was the last one to be eligible, and she also was put in timeout by Mia very late in the match, even before she got eligible. So she really utilized the whole eligibility system well to build that underdog storyline. And when she did win, it was a huge upset. It was also really shocking because I think not many people suspected her to win. She's been away from the title storyline for a long time, and she's been with Impact for a while now, so she's not necessarily the hot name. But ultimately, I'm so happy for Jordynne Grace's win because she's that wrestler that every time I see in the ring, she's so amazing because of all the intensity, all the athleticism. She's just such a joy to see in the ring. So I'm confident that she'll have a great match with anyone in the Knockout division. So congrats to Jordynne Grace, the new Knockouts champion, and everyone involved in this match. This match was absolutely magical, super satisfying. We also saw that Gail King was voted the most impactful knockout in Impact Wrestling history. I'm so happy that people recognize her and respect her as the pioneer and legend in women's wrestling. And I'm also glad that especially after this whole new cycle that revealed the of WWE management, that someone like Gail Kim, who's not only a legend in the ring, but also just a good person with good intention for women's wrestling and pro wrestling industry, in the management position for Impact Wrestling. We need more good people and good influence like Gail Kim leading this industry in the future. So props to Gail Kim for winning this, and thank you so much for all the amazing things you do. And that was it for Women's Wrestling Weekly. You can find me at DSShin on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter. Alright, see you next time. Bye!